I believe if I had sought medical attention early enough, I would have saved my breast. So I decided I'm doing away with the follow-ups because I'm just wasting my money going. Sometimes no doctors, sometimes you go and they're just removing it. I have healed, I have been declared cancer-free. Does it mean chances are that this thing may come back? Hi, my name is Joy. I conquered breast cancer, and this is my story. My name is Joyce Wawira, and I'm 41 years old. I come from Embu, but I reside within Nairobi. I live in Embakasi. I'm a single mother of 2 teens. Yeah, proud single mom of 2 teens, and I'm born again. I was diagnosed in 2014, and I was 34 by then. Yeah. Although I had the lump on my breast for years. It was a case for me. Yeah. I would say back in 2010. Yeah, and even 2007 actually. I remember 2007, I had an inflammation on my right breast. So it was painful, more something like a pimple, a mosquito bite, very painful. They did an FNA, and they said it was not cancerous, and they would give me medication, and the tiny lump, it was actually the size of a pimple. They said it would shrink, but they advised me to be doing checkups. You go this month, come next month, the doctor is not there, and you've paid and you're supposed to pay back after the appointment. So I got to a point I was like, these people, the lump has shrunk. They are not doing anything about it. They are not even removing the lump. So they said I'm safe, of which it shrunk. But I was going for just normal checkups. So I said, since they've said it's malignant, it's malignant. Sorry, is it? It's benign. Yeah. Benign, yeah, sorry. So I decided I'm doing away with the follow-ups because I'm just wasting my money going. Sometimes no doctors, sometimes you go and they're just removing blood for nothing. So I would say it was misdiagnosed. It took some time before they could give me the results. In fact, I remember it took me more than the time they had given me. I remember calling there, requesting for my results, and they said they had gotten lost in the lab. So I waited for some days. Still no call. I called back again, and they told me that they had seen the results. So I went for them, and they gave me the envelope. So when I checked, it was underlined carcinoma of the breast. So I saw the oncology there. No, he was a surgeon, actually not an oncology. I saw the surgeon, and he said it's cancer. And he said that it was stage 1, and he said that it was not an emergency. So because I was very shocked. So I just took my time, and I was on denial at that moment. So I went actually, of which he was advising me to do a surgery, and I would not even need the chemotherapy. I just went and I went kabisa. Yes, I was not expecting anything of that kind. I hear cancer is more of a family thing, huh? But in our family, there was no history of cancer. Breast cancer, no. So I was like, this can't be me. I'm still young. This surgeon is telling me to, in fact, the words he used, Joyce, this is not an emergency, and you can take your time, and when you're ready, you just need to do the surgery. We chop off the breast. Those are the words he used. Yes, you just need to chop off the breast, and you're good. No need for chemo, and you're good, because it's in the early stages. So those words hit me hard, chop off my breast at my age. I just went. I went, and it took me time for me to accept it. So I was shaken, and by the time I went back now, it had advanced to stage 3. As I said, almost a year. So when I went back, actually I didn't go back to the same hospital. I thought it would be wise for me to seek a second opinion. They wanted to do their own tests. So for them, they did biopsy and FNA as well. And amazingly, the FNA was positive, the biopsy was negative. Yeah, so the doctor, the oncologist I saw there is an expert. He told me that he doesn't want to take chances because from how the breast was, they could tell it's a type of cancer that can be treated. So I had to do treatment. I had to begin treatment immediately, the chemo. But now, because of the size of the lump, I was advised to first do chemo to shrink the lump to make it easier for the surgery. Well, I would say partially yes or no, because I wouldn't blame anyone, because when you hear the word cancer, the message that comes out involves a lot of money. So people tend to, run away. Not really running away, but they tend to pull away. Yeah. So I had that challenge of finances and, people not wanting to imagine that they would spend, I needed a lot of money. So initially finance was a big issue. But what I did, I had just acquired a new job, and I would say my company was very supportive, Copper Solar. I always thank them because they gave me an insurance cover that I always say it was a miracle card. Although the card actually got to a point it was exhausted, and I also relied on friends and family for fundraisers. Yeah, and also Faraja came in on board, and with their support, I had sponsorship from different companies, to mention Nakumat and others. Yeah, and financial issue was sorted. Yes. Sometimes I would even miss fare to come for chemo. Like I had exhausted myself, so I remember I would even walk from town to here. Sometimes I would do chemo and walk, because I've used my friends so much. That's how I felt, and I didn't want to drain them anymore. Some had already begun pulling out, so financial was a big issue, and it was really affecting me psychologically. Feeding as well was a big issue, because when you're on treatment, you're supposed to feed well, balanced diet, and for me, I would say I can connect it with finances, yeah, because I was not really able to eat as required, but I tried. I just ate what was available, and as I said, I'm born again and I believe in God, so I would just pray and I would tell God, as I take what I'm able to take, do the rest. Yes, and with the issue of finances and lack and the treatment, and I had emotional issues, yeah. Psychologically, I was not okay. I was losing it actually, because I remember my company, they are very understanding in Copper. They would allow me to go to work. So I would go to work after chemo, because my kids were my firstborn was in boarding by then. So the other one is a young boy, they were in school. So if I go home, I would think a lot, and so many, I had bad thoughts on my mind. So to reduce them, I would go to work, and they allowed me. I would do my calls. It was a customer call center. When I feel tired, I would just sleep, and they would ask me, just go home and sleep. So I remember going to work, because I was psychologically affected. Sometimes I would just cry, I'm crying on a client. I was psychologically not okay, but thanks to Faraja, because they assured me that whatever I was going through, I would count on them. Faraja Cancer Care, I would say, has contributed to my healing. I can say that with confidence, because when I felt like I'm stressed, I would even get out of work and just come to Faraja and cry, and just explain myself, and they would listen to me. Yeah, and they also offered me some services that really contributed to my healing. Yeah, the counseling, the yoga, and so many, services that they offered that really helped me recover emotionally. Generally, I would say I'm good. I completed my treatment in 2017, and I had questions why it had to be me. The removal of my breast. I felt I was still young. I felt like I'm not presentable, sorry, in front of a man, you know. I'm single, I desire to get married. So that affected me so much, but with time and with counseling from Faraja, I was able to pick myself up. And sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, I feel like that breast should have been there, but then I'm like, I thank God for the healing. I would say health-wise, I'm good. But the posture, you know, it affects me because I had to change my wardrobe. I loved V-shaped tops and, you know, just looking girlish. Nowadays, I have to do round-shaped tops. So sometimes I use prosthesis, by the way. So sometimes I feel like the breast that is there is bigger than the prosthesis, the size, you know. Somehow it affects me, but I have adapted to it. Yes, I have adapted to it. And I would say health-wise I'm good. Health-wise I'm good. I want to begin by saying I have met people, because I always share my testimony in salon. As long as I get to talk to someone, I always share my testimony and I tell them, had I known what I now know, my breast would not have been removed, because I had that lump for over 10 years. It was just because it was not paining and it was not big, I ignored it, you know. And I believe if I had sought medical attention early enough, I would have saved my breast. And I have met people who have lumps on their breast, but they're afraid to go for treatment because they're afraid of the word cancer. Because they say cancer is a killer. But it's no longer a killer disease. If cancer is detected early, it's curable. I have met people, I know people who have cured and they are well. But there's this fear that comes. So what I want to tell people, because I tell my friends to go for, I don't tire telling my friends to go for checkups. When you have a lump, not necessarily on the breast, we have men who have prostate cancer, even on the hand. I have people who have passed on because of a tumor on the hand, but they ignored because it's not painful. So what I can tell people, cancer is treatable, and people should not be afraid of going to seek for treatment. And you don't have to wait for you to get something to go for treatment. We have screening that are done, I believe, every month. And now this being October, it's a cancer month. Take advantage of those opportunities. Go have yourself checked, because early detection saves. It saves, actually. For me, I believe if I had this, I remember, let me take you back. 2005. I lived with a neighbor who was very close to me. She was a teacher. I remember she came and asked me, can we go for a checkup? By then, I did not have this thing. It was that tiny pimple, you know. Let's go for a checkup at Nairobi Hospital. You know, I asked her what for, and she said, breast screening. I'm like, it's not necessary. And imagine years back, okay, let's not say years back. Today now, I don't have a breast. Had I listened to my friend and gone for that checkup, and she's okay. She didn't have a breast. She didn't have any issue. She just decided to go for screening, the free screening. Had I gone for that checkup, I believe I would have saved my breast. So let people take advantage of free screening. They are not even costly. You can save some money and have yourself checked too, just because when any disease is detected early, you'll be saved and you can live a normal life just like me. Yes.